Of three, wife, badass, amazing coach on Miss Fit Republic. So, Jenni, take it away and enlighten us tonight.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. That is, it's always weird to hear like your own accolades being shouted out, because I really just started this and just kind of started doing what I was supposed to do. So I know some of you guys are my friends on Facebook, but that doesn't mean that you know my story. So before I jump into what I'm going to teach you guys, which I'm sure you all thought was going to be social media, but shocker, it's not. I have a little bit of developed knowledge in a couple other things. So I want to tell you guys a little about my story and how I got started as a coach, because I don't think most of you know that. So I never struggled with my weight, my entire life. I had my oldest son when I was 23 years old. And after I had him, I literally like walked out of the hospital like wearing my size like 26 diesel jeans, like no big deal. Like I just had a baby, like who cares, put my jeans on, right? And my body just sprung back. It was like no big thing. So then I married my husband when I was 29, and we had our first son together when I was 30. And I was expecting the same results. I'm like, they always say like, oh, when you turn 30, everything changes. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. So I put on this weight, and all of a sudden I realized that like, oh my gosh, I have a weight problem. Like I was nursing, and I'm not one of those ones that when I nursed that my weight came off. I was the exact opposite. My body was just like, hey, we're feeding this other being, and we're going to hold on to this weight, and we're just going to, stick around with it. So after we finished nursing, I lost a little bit of the weight, and I decided, well, you know what? Now I'm not nursing anymore, so now I can diet and I can exercise, because obviously I thought you couldn't exercise while you were nursing, or that was my excuse, anyways. So then I started doing Insanity. My friend let me borrow Insanity, and I fell in love with Shanti. And I got 4 weeks in, and I was on my rest week, or they call it rest week. If you guys have done Insanity, week 5 is not a rest. Okay, like don't let it fool you. So so I was on week 5, and I had basically put my body in prime baby making mode. And so we found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, and I actually kind of cried. And it wasn't that I didn't want my daughter. It was that I wasn't where I wanted to be when I got pregnant again. My mom is very overweight. And so all my life, she blamed her weight on the fact that she had children back to back. And here I was about to have children back to back. And I already had now, encountered what I considered a weight problem. And my mom's unhappiness is also very much related to her weight problem. Why am I single? Oh, it's because I'm overweight. Why am I unhappy? Oh, it's because I'm overweight. And she, just growing up, I constantly heard these things, that her unhappiness was tied to her weight problem, and that her weight problem was tied to having kids. And so this was like, now my biggest fear was being actualized. This sounds really mean to my mother, but I didn't want to end up like my mother, because she's not very happy. So I got pregnant with my daughter. I was like, I'm going to have a fit pregnancy. And I went and bought Tracy Anderson pregnancy workouts. Yay. And I did them twice. Yay. So I did not have a very fit pregnancy. And so after my daughter was born, my biggest fears that I thought were actualized were now actually actualized. I was 45 to 50 pounds heavier than I had ever been in my entire life. I was miserable. I always use the analogy when I'm trying to explain my story to people that I was no longer the woman that my husband married. And I don't mean that because I didn't fit into my wedding dress. I mean, it changed everything. I no longer want to be intimate with my husband. I did not want to, I didn't let him see me change. I changed in the bathroom. I didn't feel like I was fun anymore. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to go to outings. I didn't want to go to my husband's in the military. I don't know if we said that earlier, but I didn't want to go to company functions. I just didn't want anybody to know me, because I didn't want them to know me like that. To top it off, I refused to buy bigger clothes. And so I'm like this, size 14, 16, trying to squeeze into size 8 clothes, you guys. Think about what that looks like. It's not a pretty picture. But I refused to accept my larger size. And so I just looked 10 times heavier than I even did, because I was trying to squeeze into these little clothes. So I asked my husband one day, I said, hey, that T25 program, you should buy that for us. And his reaction was like, see that drawer over there? you've got about 20 workout videos and you don't do any of them. He's like, I will not buy you another workout video. He's like, do those and then we can talk. And I was like, fair enough. So 2 days later, he actually sent me a screenshot and he had purchased T25, not because he wanted it for me, but because I had sparked something in him and he wanted it. So I had this like weird dichotomy of emotions where I was just like, T25, yeah, Shanti, woohoo, to holy crap, I've got to work out now. So I started doing the workouts and I found a couple friends that were actually doing it as well. And so I started this group, this private group. I didn't have a coach. We bought it online and I didn't have a coach. And I just started this group with like 5 other girls that I knew that were doing the program. And so they were doing the program and we would just post funny Shanti memes. Like there was like him looking all sexy and he's just like, I know you didn't do your burpees today, you know, or like Shanti thinks you look hot when you sweat, you know, just like funny things we post in there. Saturday, if you've done T25, then you know that Saturday is Saturday. We'd share our stats every Saturday. We'd share our victories. We'd share our failures. We'd motivate each other. And we did all these things that, as you all know, because you're coaches, we were doing a challenge group and we didn't even know it, you know? We were completely 100% being coaches and none of us were coaches and none of us had coaches. So T25 is a 10-week program. At the first 5 weeks, I compared my pictures, which my very first pictures I took and I hid in my email. My husband doesn't snoop in my stuff, you guys, but I took those first pictures and I hid them in my email so deep in like this old eBay file because I used to sell vintage eBay clothes. I hid them in there so nobody would see them. And now I share them so proudly. But I took my pictures and I shared my results and I just started crying, like ugly ass tears, you guys, just like sobbing that my hard work was paying off and I was visually seeing it. And so I knew the girl across the street was a Beachbody coach. And so I messaged her on Facebook. And this is the funny part. You guys got to kick out of this. She had invited me to a What Is Coaching webinar like 2 weeks beforehand because she knew I was doing T25. And it was hosted by Andrea, and I'm not even joking when I say this. She wrote me, she said, my coach is doing a contest, like whoever can get the most people on the webinar is going to win a prize. Like, would you mind checking it out for me? Da-da-da. And I was like, well, I like this girl. She's a sweet girl. Yeah. Sure. Send me the link. I'll watch this webinar. I pop on there. I'm like, I don't know how they're going to judge this, but.
Vanilla.
And I watched TV and I turned the screen on and I put the What Is Coaching webinar on mute and I did this. And I was just sitting there watching TV and I'm like, she'll get credit for it, whatever, I'm on, you know. Didn't watch the webinar, didn't learn anything about the What Is Coaching. I literally turned my computer and just like watched TV. I didn't care, I didn't want to do it, whatever. So 2 weeks later, I invited over. I said, I'm in love with this program. I want to make one person cry these stinking ugly tears that I cried. And I shared my results with her. And I told her about my group that I had with these girls. And she just started cracking up. And she's like, you're already a coach. You're just not getting paid. And I was just like, what? And so she explained it all to me. And I signed up that day. And at that point, my goal was still to just help one person. And then she sent me the Misfit Republic site. And this is before it was all pretty like it is now. And my husband the next night was watching something on TV I didn't want to watch. So I was like, I'm going to check out what this coaching website, this training is all about. So I watched like 5 videos in a row and I was like, my eyes were just getting big. The second night, same thing. I think my husband was watching something I did want to watch that time, but I didn't care. Put in my headphones and I just listened. By day 2, I saw the big picture, you guys. I saw what we can do here as far as changing lives and building a business and building a future for us. And that is kind of what I want to talk to you guys about. So that's now you guys know my backstory, and that's actually leading me into what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. The big picture, like what is possible in this business just by helping each other become better leaders and better coaches, and helping people on getting started on their health and fitness journeys, as well as getting them started as coaches. So, like I said, I started this business just wanting to help one person. And just by, the introduction and like what Noelle said, you guys can tell I've obviously helped more than just that one person because I saw the big picture. And when I talk about seeing the big picture and things, I often like joke about, drinking the Kool-Aid, but of course we don't drink Kool-Aid, so we drink the Shakeology. So I always say like, I want to help you guys drink the Shakeology, basically like get on board and understand what's possible. So when she first asked me to speak on this call for you guys, I already had like a number of things that I wanted to say. But between that time that she asked me to do this and this call tonight, so much has happened that I'm actually going to kind of detour from what I was originally going to talk to you guys about. The things I was, I'm going to get to them at the end, but they're going to be so small and insignificant compared to like what I want to tell you guys now. Just want to share a couple stories with you guys because, as you know, when we talk about sharing our journey with our network, we talk about sharing our story. So I also think that's the best way to relate to coaches too. So I want to share some struggles with you guys that I haven't even shared with my own team 100% because it's still really new to me and it's still really raw. But I just want to share that with you because it fits in my topic that I want to talk to you guys about originally. So back in August, if I was ever going to quit this business, you guys, it was going to be in August. August, I struggled. It's not that I actually had the thoughts of quitting, but to think of I've been a coach since May of last year. So however many months that is, what is that, like 16, 17 months? If I was ever going to quit, it was going to be in August. It was a rough month for me. I felt like I was doing everything that I was supposed to do and nothing was panning out. I was talking to a bunch of people. I think by the end of the month, I had talked to 300 people, and I was sitting at Success Club 4, and 3 of those points were from previous customer leads. So I didn't even earn those, you guys. I had sold 1 challenge pack. I had 3 points that were given to me. At the end of I sold 1 challenge pack. I had a Shakeology. So I ended up the month with 6 Success Club points. And it was just a wake-up call. I was like, what am I doing? Like, what did I do wrong? So then I had to step back and I had to really reflect. So in seeing the big picture, the huge thing is knowing that what you do today directly affects your business tomorrow. And tomorrow is not always tomorrow. It's next month, and it's the month after, and it's the month after. So what I realized, thinking back, I'm like, okay, why was my August so horrible? It's because in July, I wasn't doing my stuff I was supposed to do. I thought I was, but in reality, I was getting ready for Summit, and my family was moving at the same time. So I'm moving, I have Summit, and you guys, I do not allow myself excuses. I am very hard on myself. Those are not excuses for why my business was not successful. Those are my reasons in retrospect of analyzing my business. At the time, like that's the difference for me between excuses and reasons. Excuses are, I can't do that right now because, but in my reflection, so I'm not telling you guys to have excuses because you should never make excuses for yourself in your business. So I was so excited for Summit and I was so excited for our move that I was not planting my seeds in July, you guys. I wasn't adding to my network, but I didn't realize I wasn't doing that because I still had customers coming in. But those customers coming in were coming in because the work I had done in May and June. I signed a coach at Summit. Like Nicole Holt took a picture of me at Summit, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like working on my phone. She's like, this is why she's such a girl boss, because she's still working. I'm signing a coach. I'm like, I'm awesome. Yeah, I'm signing a coach at the Success Club reception. Like it's so fitting, I'm signing a coach, but I wasn't adding to my network and I wasn't doing the things that I was supposed to be doing. So my August flopped huge, like big time. And then I really had to like regather myself and build myself back up. And guess what? My September, because I put in all that work in August, my September was amazing. It was like, I had no question. I had changed my mentality. I went into September and I just knew that I was going to hit Success Club because the work I put in August, and made me realize that I can't let those things happen like that happened in July to set myself up for a failure for August. So no matter what's going on in your guys' lives, you have to be doing what we're supposed to be doing, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later because everybody's supposed to be doing is a little bit different. So I'm going to check my notes for my July story just to make sure that I hit everything that I want to tell you guys. Yeah. So the things that I already talked about the planting seeds. So you're planting seeds, and an analogy that Andrea always uses is she talks about making sure that you always have things coming in through the pipeline, and you guys have probably heard that too because Andrea said it before, but it's so true, you guys. You have to be planting those seeds. And one thing I realized I hadn't been doing was those free groups. Are you guys pretty good about doing your free groups to add to your network? I had let that go. I had completely let that go. I was focusing on just getting coaches, getting challengers, and I wasn't building value in myself and allowing myself to expand my network that way. It's such a good, easy way to expand your network, you guys. I'll tell you guys what I have planned for November. So if you guys don't already have something, you guys can totally piggyback, whatever, copycat, whatever. I don't care. I just want everyone to be successful. I'm doing in November, Deepak and Oprah are doing another one of their meditation series, and it's a free one. So I'm going to host a free one for my network. I'm going to invite all of them, and I'm going to talk about how I enjoy meditating. So this month I'm going to do a couple meditation posts. So it's not like coming out of the blue. So they know that I meditate. Might be like, oh, that's cool. And then I'm going to invite them. And then the other one I'm going to do is the week before Thanksgiving. I'm going to do a random acts of kindness group, a 7 days random acts of kindness. And just to kind of get people into that Thanksgiving spirit, that gratefulness. And so those are the two that you steal them, join them, whatever you want to do, like those are great ideas for free groups. But those free groups really help us add value as coaches, as humans. We're not trying to sell them anything. Whenever I do free groups, I never at the end of them, unless it's a clean eating group, because that's what I usually kind of do for my network. But ones that I'm doing to grow my network, I never introduce a product into those groups. Those groups are solely, like right now, the one I had last was a 7-day healthy snack group for kids. And not once did I talk about Beachbody products directly. Did I put my Shakeology in the background of my videos? Heck yeah, I did. Did I talk about the fact that I wasn't going to post a video the next day because I was leaving for my leadership retreat? Heck yeah, I did. But I did not say Beachbody, and I never said Shakeology. But I planted those little kind of tiny seeds, but I never pushed a product, and I never did anything. I just want them to trust me and see me as somebody that they can come to for, because my whole thing is like healthy, natural, organic, whatever. That's what I'm into. So I want them to see me as somebody they can come to for that. So now I want to move on to, this is the thing that I have not talked to my own team about. This is my most current struggle, and it's kind of fitting that I'm talking to you guys about it because Noelle has been such a huge part of me kind of coming through on the other side of this. One of my huge struggles recently was the fact that this business is it seems so many aspects of it seem out of our hands. I mean, can you guys agree? You guys, most of you are pushing for diamond, right? Raise a hand, shake your heads. Yes. Okay. So it's hard when you're pushing for diamond or pushing for stardom or pushing for something and knowing that your success is so dependent on other people. Like you guys who are pushing for diamond, you might have all 8 coaches lined up. Now it's up to your coaches to go emerald. And for me personally, I struggled with that. I'm pushing for elite for the end of the year. It's my first full year in the business. I want to, have a bang, but I cannot control my coaches hitting diamond, because I can't control them and what they do for their business. And I also can't control what their coaches do for their business. So it was a big, big thing for me. It floored me and made me negative towards my business. It brought out the worst in me. I didn't realize that I was so controlling because for me, controlling kind of ties into organized and anal and all those things and neat. And I am not neat. This looks cool, right? You guys like this? Does my background look cool, right? It looks cool, right? Well, what is it? Does this look cool? Does that, that's my life. But to me, all you just saw, that makes sense. I know where everything is. You ask me where anything on my desk is, and I can grab it for you. But so to me, I never thought that I was like a control freak. I never thought that I had that. I actually had this long talk with my husband. And I said, do you think I'm controlling? Do you think that I'm like a controlling personality? And he said, he's like, no, I don't think you're controlling. I just think that when things don't go your way, you have a problem with it. And I said, I will 110% agree with you on that. And he thought he was going to hurt my feelings. And I was just like, no, I completely agree with you. To the point, I think I told Noelle this too at our retreat, if we're supposed to go to dinner, I'll just use an example, Chili's, and we drive to Chili's and the wait's too long and then we have to go somewhere else, my night's ruined. And that sounds like something so stupid to get upset about, but it's in my personality. And obviously it's something hopefully I can work on and change, but I will let something like that because it wasn't the plan. And I'm not even a planner. But we all want to be like, oh, I'm easy breezy. Apparently I'm not. Apparently I'm not easy breezy, and I have to accept that. I'm not. I mean, still a cover girl, but I'm not easy breezy. But, realizing that. And so this was something that, I opened up to Noelle about at the retreat, and then we just continued talking afterwards. And she actually sent me, if you're not spiritual or religious, I never try and push that on anybody, but she sent me what word am I trying to say? sermon that her pastor had said. And it really was perfect for me. And it just talked about how things don't happen. And I already knew that, things don't happen in our time, they happen in God's time. But I was also struggling with the fact that I feel like God put hustle in my heart. I feel like God gave me this desire to like go change the world, go help all the people. And I think a lot of you guys have seen, like, I'll post videos and stuff in the big team page because my goal isn't just to grow my smaller team. My goal is to grow all of Mr. Republic. There's so many people to help. So if what I have or what I've discovered, what I've figured out can help anyone on Mr. Republic, I want to help them. And that's my goal. And I feel like God put that in my heart. And so I was struggling with, God put this hustle in my heart. And so why would he give me this hustle if I wasn't supposed to use it? So then, I'm talking to Noelle and a couple of the people, and she sent me that sermon. And it was basically like, waiting sucks. We all know that waiting sucks. Patience sucks. But if God is making you wait for something, it's because he's building your character and changing your character so that you are ready to accept what he's going to give you. So hearing that, I was like, wow, I can really work on my leadership. I can really work on how I get my girls started. I can really work on my gratuity. When my business was bad in August and part of September, my income took like a huge dip. And we had like I said, we had just moved, and we were relying on my Beachbody income. And now all of a sudden it had like tanked down lower than it had been since January. And I'm like, what the French, like what the heck is going on? And so this money that we were counting on to like buy our new furniture and to do all these things was now low. And then I had, through what I was working on with myself, and realizing the big picture of everything, that this business takes time and the ebb and flows. And we always hear that, you guys. I've been hearing about the ebb and flow since day one. But then when you're in the ebb instead of the flow, it's hard to hear that. And so when I'm in this ebb and I'm just low and I'm just like angry, I had to really work on myself and remind myself of the big picture and realize, like, I'm thankful for this $200 a week that I'm making. Thank you for this $200 a week. Thank you, team, even if I don't think that you guys are working to your fullest potential. Thank you for working at the level that you are working at so that I got $200 this week, so that I got the money that we needed to get us through to the next paycheck. Thank you for that. And that's part of the big picture, you guys, is being grateful for what we do have and not thinking about what we don't have or what somebody else has. So that was huge struggle for me, is getting over that side. Now I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you guys about it and I'm not emotional. Like if this was like 2 weeks ago, I would have been crying about it, but I've just changed like such gratuity inside myself and positivity. And it's made me remember why I started this business. Like I was telling you guys earlier, my day one, my why, my wanting to change one life, except now one life is all the lives. And all the little cues that I was getting from the universe, even if you're not religious, you guys, you've got to, if you don't believe in, God or religion or whatever, you probably still believe in like a universal energy or something like that, like karma or whatever. And the universe, God, was sending me like all these, I'm like messaging like Noelle, and I'm sending her a picture of my devotional that day. And it's like exactly what we were talking about. And then somebody else in the group posts something, or Amber, it was Amber. Amber posted something, and I commented Noelle on a post that Amber said. I was like, Noelle, do you see this? Do you see this? And then all of a sudden, like now, this week, I'm like messaging Noelle. I'm like, I have all these girls in my sneak peek. I'm like, these are my rock stars. I'm like, it's happening. Like, I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. Like, I don't know. Now, I don't know if I'm ready. Before, I was like, I'm ready. Why isn't this happening? Like, why is everybody else and not me? And then I was just like, all right, let it go. And then all of a sudden now it's like happening. And now I'm like, I'm not ready. And I think that's a good place to be, because then we're always going to be benefiting our coaches, and we don't have the expectations that we might have when we're so concerned about things not being in our control. So that being said, now I'm going to talk to you guys about the original stuff that I was going to talk about, but in a smaller scale, because mindset is so much more important than a lot of the things that we're said to do on a daily basis. So back to the big picture. I know you guys hear about this all the time, our 3 vital behaviors. I want to talk to you guys not so much about the 3 vital behaviors, but about why they're so important. 3 vital behaviors, I'm praying well, let's see. Ashley Roach isn't in here, so we got her so good at the retreat, you guys. We got her so good. She was joking in the car ride on the way up there about the 3 vital behaviors, and she was not really thinking about what she was saying, and she was saying that invite were the 3 vital behaviors, like just invite, okay? So it was really funny. Then Jeremy Red said, like, who knows the 3 vital behaviors? We're like, Ashley does. Ashley knows them. And just to like put her on the spot and be funny. Anyways, so we have invite. And we have personal development, and we have product of the product. There is a reason all of these are our 3 vital behaviors, okay? Personal development, you guys, I think I just showed a prime example of why it's so important. This business is so for lack of a repetitive word, personal, but you know, we're talking to people and we're giving of ourselves to people so frequently and so much that it's like being filled back up. You know, we go out there, we put ourselves out there, and we're going for no, and we're getting no's, and then we have personal development to tell us like, but you are awesome and you are doing a good job. And whether you're listening to personal development or business personal development, it's so vital for your business, you guys. Do it. Please do it. I didn't do it for the first 4 months of my business because I was like, who here has read You're a Badass? Okay, a good majority of you. You know, in the beginning where she's just like, I thought personal development was like all hippy dippy and like that wasn't for me. And I was like, I don't need that. I was just like, is she here? Like, I was like, because that was me. Like, I was like never listening to personal development. And just a little backstory. My coach abandoned me. That girl I originally signed up with, 6 weeks into coaching, she was gone. She disappeared. She didn't respond to my messages. She didn't respond to Lorelai's messages, and she didn't respond to Andrea's. She was gone. So a lot of what I figured out for my first 3 or 4 months, I figured out on my own. I used the Misfit site, and I used my general instincts of what I thought was like normal and not too salesy. And so she never told me how important personal development was. She never told me how important the 3 vital behaviors was. I didn't even know how to use coaching codes, you guys. I was telling my customers and my coaches, okay, here's my coach website. Now click shop. And then after you click shop, to the left, there'll be a thing that says challenge pack. Click challenge pack and scroll down until you find 21-day fix. After you find 21-day fix, pick your Shakeology flavor. Like, I'm having to walk them through it. Like, how unprofessional is that? Rather than just sending them a direct link, you know? So I didn't know a lot of things. So now fast forward again, sorry. So I didn't know about the 3 vital behaviors. So personal development is so important for those reasons. If you're not doing it, do it, you know, whether it's business or personal. I usually have one of each going. Invite. I don't know this. Another thing we talked about on my road trip. Did you guys know that the 3 invites actually stand for something? It's not just like invite, like harass. It's not like that. The first invite is inviting somebody to be your friend. Just your friend on Facebook, you know, like somebody that you met in a hobby group, in a mutual group or whatever, just inviting them to join your page. The second one is an invite to a group, a free group, whether it's a clean eating group or the ones that we talked about, the hypnosis group or the random acts of kindness. Sometimes these will go hand in hand because I actually grow my network. I grow my friends list by doing my free groups. I'll post about it in my other groups. So it's actually, these will go hand in hand. And the third one, that's when you invite them to a challenge group after you've established that relationship, a challenge group or the coaching opportunity. So it's not, when we say invite, it's not invite to a challenge group, invite to coaching, invite to a challenge group, invite to coaching. It's build that friendship, invite them to, it's like build that friendship, build your value, and then go in for the join my team or join a challenge group. So, those are 3 vital things. And then we have our product of the product. That one's the easy one. You guys, that one's the basic one. Do your workouts, drink your Shakeology, share your products, like whatever. Again, what you do today is going to affect your business tomorrow. That's the whole big picture thing. So I got to read this. Sorry, you guys. I've been doing it. Oh, why is I'm trying to click it. No, womp womp. So yeah, so your 3 vital behaviors are so important. That's what, you know, that goes along hand with the next thing. Again, power hour. I'm not going to tell you how to do your power hour. I'm going to tell you why your power hour is so important. Your power hour is so important because you're establishing those relationships. You are reaching out to 3 people. Something I like to make sure people know, in addition to like the invite thing, is that when we're doing are, hey girls, you're not writing those people to make a sale. You're writing those people just to be a genuine friend. My husband always jokes with me and he calls me a used car salesman, because when I talk to people about this, he'll overhear, whatever. And I go to people's Facebook pages like that I want to connect with, or that are on I call it my in playlist. I have a list of running people who are my coach prospects for the month, and then my challenge group prospects for the month. And those are the people that I interact with. And then I also have an in playlist, which are like my ideals, who are kind of like my avatar. Like they don't know they're on my radar, but they're on my radar. And I will make sure that I'm engaging with all those people on all three lists: coaching, challenge group, or my in play. So I'm going to their Facebook and I'm finding a reason to write them. Maybe they shared a recipe, you guys. Maybe they shared a recipe and I can write them. I can just like, did you try that recipe yet? Are you going to try that recipe? Like, I want to try that recipe, but like, have you already tried it? And it gives me a reason to write them. Maybe their kid just had a birthday. Like, oh my gosh, your birthday party ideas were so cute. And that's it. That's what your hey girls are. And I'm sure you guys know this, so this is probably repetitive, but I said, I want to tell you why it's important. Why that's important is because you're building that relationship. You're establishing that connection for the future. If that conversation naturally goes to Beachbody, then so be it. If they say like, I saw your results you posted the other day, like that's amazing. And you're like, oh yeah, I've been doing 21 Day Fix. I actually have a new challenge group coming up. Like you should totally join us. And then they're the ones who brought it up. And so it's not icky and it's genuine. And now you're just trying to help them. If they don't bring it up, then you're at least building that relationship. And then like when you do your third invite to them where you're inviting them, it's not out of nowhere, you guys. Let's see, what's another thing in the Power Hour? It's kind of our 3 vital behaviors, so I'm going to move on from that. But last thing I want to talk to you guys about is Success Club and why it's important. Again, why. I like to talk to you guys about the why because that includes the big picture. This one is so passionate about Success Club, you guys. Success Club was not created as a reason to make you guys feel like failures. It was not created as a reason to make us push outside of our boundaries. Success Club was created because this is what Jeremy Red told us at our retreat. Success Club was created because they wanted to know how to help all the coaches. And so they took the top coaches and they saw the formula of what they were all doing every single month. And every single one of the top coaches was helping at least 3, if not 5, new people every single month. So I don't know if you guys caught my video on Andrea's page, but I just made, this week alone, I made $200 added to my paycheck just from Success Club leads that I've gotten. 4 of them were previous Success Club leads. 1 was a customer lead, so I got that one just for being Success Club 5. And then she decided to go on Shakeology. And 1 was a brand new one. So this week I got $190 plus a Success Club point just from doing what I'm supposed to do and helping my 3 to 5 people every single month. Like, that's bananas, right? Like, who doesn't need an extra $200 a week? This girl could, because a few months ago or a few weeks ago, this girl was only making $200, like a week. So this is success. I can't even talk now. Success Club is hard to talk about because when we talk about the numbers, it sounds like it's a numbers game and not a people's game, but it's absolutely a people's game. And I use that word really loosely. It's a tangible measure of the number of people that we're helping. So if you're pushing yourself to help 3 to 5 people, recruit a couple challengers, like that's the foundation of your business. I 100% believe that. I don't think that Success Club was put here to make us struggle or to make us stress. I think it was here to be a tangible marker for us to do what we are supposed to do to build a business. Now, if you're just a hobby coach, which I don't think any of you guys are because you wouldn't be pushing for Diamond if you were. If you were just a hobby coach, then Success Club's not important. But if you're in this to build a business, you should absolutely be pushing no matter what, non-negotiable Success Club every single month. If that means staying up an extra hour every night for the first 2 weeks of the month to make sure you've nailed it, then so be it, you guys. This business is all about doing what you have to do in the beginning so that later on it's easy. That's the whole foundation of being an entrepreneur, We're living for a couple years how other people won't, so we can live the rest of our lives how most people can't. Like, that is just exactly what Success Club is based off of. Imagine like one of my Success Club leads, they've been on Shakeology for 5 or 6 months. They never even wrote me back when I wrote them, you guys. I have no contact with this person. They're just in love with the product, and I'm benefiting from it. And I'm continuing to benefit from it because that 1 month that I rocked my ass off, and got Success Club 10, I happen to get them at Success Club the next month. And then they order the next month, and the next month, and the next month. Now, granted, I continue to hit Success Club 10 or higher most months. Some months I only hit 6. So I continue to get those leads, and they just build on each other, you guys. It's the foundation. It really is the foundation for our business. Not just because of the leads, but because of the people that you're changing your lives to get those Success Club points. They're going to be your challengers. They're going to be your coaches, you guys. And if you're anything like me, whether you're how I started out, one life, just want to help one person, or you got in this business and you knew from the get-go you want to help all the people, that's your foundation. And hopefully I gave you guys a good explanation of why, and I didn't just talk numbers. But yeah, so that kind of sums up about everything I wanted to say. It's really about the big picture. And I want you guys to see the big picture. I want you guys to understand that this business takes time. And even when you think you've got it all figured out, like I thought I did, I've known since day one that this business was going to take time. I knew that. But then sometimes you get stuck in that ebb and flow, and especially when you're in that ebb, and you just get to a point where you feel like the things you are doing aren't working. But then you can just take a step back and look at what you might have been doing wrong and how you can fix that for the big picture. So big picture, mind shift, mindset, gratuity, all that stuff is like so vital in this business. And if you guys are struggling, I know you guys, this is a Push to Diamond group. Diamond is not easy, but it can be if you're doing what you're doing and you're laying down the foundation. The same thing I say with Emerald. Like, Emerald doesn't have to be difficult. It's only as difficult as we make it. If at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and at the end of the year, you can sit back and you can say, I did the things that I was supposed to do, then you're a success. And that is something that it took me till about 3 weeks to realize. And I remember telling this to Noelle. I was like, you know what? If I can end the year, if I don't end as an elite coach, but I end the year and I can say, I did everything I could do, then I'm a success. I did everything I could do for my team, then I'm a success. I did everything I could do for my challengers, then I'm a success. I did everything I could do for my power hour, then I'm a success. And the things that are not in our not in our control, we just have to let them go. And this is another thing I said to Noelle was, I'm pushing for elite this year. And if it doesn't happen, I've already let that emotion, I've already detached my emotion from it. And how easy is it going to be next year in 2016? I've already proclaimed that 2016 is the year of the Jenni. Like, it's happening. Like, next year, I'm going to be elite by this time next year, and I'm not even going to have to worry about it. Like, it's already done. Like, so why, like, it doesn't mean I'm not going to push now. It just means that I've released any pressure that I've put on myself, and I can end this year knowing that I did what I was supposed to do. So
Thank you.
I think that's all I got for you guys.
Holy cow. Thank you, Jenni.
I don't know if I dropped any knowledge. I just told a bunch of stories.
You dropped knowledge. You definitely did. And if these girls weren't writing it down, I don't know where they were.
Double check my notes, make sure I hit everything.
First of all, I am so excited to hear you. I was just really excited for this call because you and I had been talking so much the last couple of weeks, and just like literally everything. It's almost like Jenni's, like what she was going through. I was suddenly so focused on it. Every time I turned around, I saw something. I'm like, I have to snapshot that to Jenni. I have to tell her I saw this and I read that. But
it was crazy. It's seriously, it's been a crazy 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it just they popped out of everywhere, every turn, everything. So if you guys are looking for the answer to whatever problem you have, it is out there. Just start focusing on how to improve yourself and better yourself, and I swear those answers just like they pop up.
Yeah, it was crazy. All the way from Amber posting the thing that she posted to my devotionals, and I was sending you pictures of my devotionals, and I even shared one on my page. It was just like, all right. It was to the point where I was actually joking with Noelle, and I was just like, I get it. Okay, I get it. then it was like, okay, I get it. And now it's happening. Oh wait, no, not yet. No, we're still working on me, aren't we?
It was really awesome. I also wanted to just bounce off what you were saying because it just kind of clicked in my head. My pastor always says this because he always talks about numbers in church and like how many more boxes of food we can send out on Thanksgiving and how many more this and that and, you know, what numbers we can reach. And if you're anything like me, like numbers don't do it. And I really just, lately I've had to step back and take numbers out of the equation for me. For some reason, I see numbers and they weigh on my shoulder and it takes the joy out of it, anything. But anyways, what I wanted to say is that my pastor always says every number is a person and every person matters. So when you're thinking about Success Club and you're thinking about, you know, the volume or whatever numbers you're focusing on, think of it in terms of like every number you see is a person whose life is potentially changing, and every person matters. Every life matters. So that's just a good way to look at it if you're like me and you don't get aroused by numbers, I guess, for lack of better.
Exactly. And that's why, you know, I think a lot of us in my team, we call it like the 3 Lives Club, because we do want it attached. You know, we want to, it is a humanistic thing. It is something that we want to humanize. We don't want to think of it in terms of a number. Like you said, I am driven by numbers because that's kind of how my mind works. So for me, it's a tangible because I look at the number and I know that those are lives I've changed. Whereas somebody who's not focused on the numbers, the lives they change are translated into numbers. So it's like just looking at it from 2 sides of the
Exactly. Perspective.
But I think that's why it's important, like I shared with you guys, like why Success Club was started, you know, so knowing that, it kind of takes that ickiness of the number out of it. It's done because it was created, like I said, because that's how they talked to the top coaches and they found out what they did. But I completely agree with you, because even somebody who is more run on numbers like myself, I never want to give the perception that it's not human. It's not humanized to me, that it's not a person attached to that number. So I'm glad that you said that, because there are different ways of looking at it. And every time when I get down about Success Club, it's not that, oh my God, like that month that I was struggling, when I was struggling in August, it wasn't, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my Success Club streak. Like I can't let that happen. It was that, why don't I have people to help? It really was that. And actually Heather Lee messaged me, and she said, hey girl, I know that you're struggling this month. She said, and I talked to her back and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm really struggling. I'm like, I feel like I don't have anyone to help. She's like, I have my team to coach, but I don't have any challengers to coach. And I'm really struggling. She said, this is what I've done. She said, I went back and I reached out to every single one of my challengers and I invited them to my new challenge group. And I told them we just came out with new Beachbody resources, which we did. I don't know if you guys saw those a month and a half or 2 months ago. There's like a new categories for 21 Day Fix. There was a new shopping list available in our back office and a couple other things. And so I told them that we had those and invited them to my new challenge group. And all of them I wrote, I'd say 80% were like, yes, I've fallen off. I need back on. Because a lot of times our old challengers, they're not going to reach out to us when they fall off because they feel like they failed. So if we reach out to them, so that is what got me through August. It wasn't that, I mean, I still barely got 6 points, and that's because my husband's friend was on the fence about ordering a challenge pack, and I was like, please, it's almost 11 o'clock, please. And he was like, okay. So that's how I hit Success Club that month. But I still got to be a coach because I pulled back and I called all my old challengers forward, and I got to have that important feeling where I was changing lives again. That's where I struggle with. So yeah, I base it off of the numbers, but it was killing me that I didn't have people to help, that I wasn't having that interaction. I didn't have my own challengers in my challenge group that I run with my success partner. And so going back and reaching out to them really helped me get through that and be like, I do have people to help. They just were back there waiting for me to reach out to them. So.
Does anybody, do you have a few minutes to open it up for questions, if there are any questions?
My kids are in bed. I poured my second glass. I just started sipping on it, so I'm good.
Does anybody have any questions for Jenni?
Yeah, actually. When you go about, I love watching your social media posts, by the way. I become a frequent Yeah, me and my success partner there, Amy, we both have kind of like a girl crush on you, just to say that.
I love girl crushes.
But your social media posts, I know obviously you're a very creative person. Do you plan out all of your social media posts as far as like the day ahead, or do they just kind of come to you? Do you do them like certain times, stuff like that?
I'm a combination. So
Okay.
what I do is, and thank you for calling me creative, because I would not think that I was creative, but thank you. What I do is I'm kind of always thinking like, how can I relate this to coaching? And so I'm always thinking that, or knowing what your network like feeds off of. My kids are my affinity, man. I post about my kids and people are like, ah! I'm just like, yeah, I got cute kids. Thank you.
Yeah.
But so I'll do things like today, I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted that really vulnerable post, and that was not supposed to be that. Like, I was like crying after I posted it. It was the one that says like, who, me? That post was supposed to be the one that I just posted about being on the call with you guys. I took that picture, and the whole point of that post was going to be like, who, me? Like, why would they want me to talk on why would they want me to talk on their call? Like, who am I? Like, I just am doing what I love, and I've had success, and like, now they want me to share my knowledge. Like, oh my God, I'm so thankful, da da da. That's what that post was supposed to be. And I just started opening up, and it just started coming out. And I was just like, this isn't where this is supposed to be going. So that's why I just created that other post that was actually the one, like, I'm on this team call, like, I'm so excited. Like, so things like that just happen like organically and naturally. I'm known for my food and my cooking to my original network. My newer network doesn't always know that about me. So sometimes I'll take a picture of my food and I'll save it. I'm really good at that. So, cause I'm a stay-at-home mom, and like, who's a stay-at-home mom here? Okay. Our lives are pretty boring, right?
Yep.
Like, pretty boring. So I'll actually save a post or save a picture for a day.
Speak for yourself. No,
for like, so like I'll like save a picture. Like, let me just see if I can pull one up real quick. Cause I'm sure I have one. Let's see.
Where do you get that gold font from?
It's the Rana app.
I have that. I've never seen gold in there.
You probably have to buy the package.
It's like a gold package.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw it.
Don't go steal my brand, girl.
I ain't stealing your brand, but I like gold.
Let's see. Like, here's a good example. This is a picture of my daughter on the playground. Like, that's a picture of my daughter on the playground. She's so freaking cute. Okay, she's adorable. Now, I didn't post that picture when it happened because I might pretend we went to the park tomorrow. Like things like that. So it's not that I pre-plan them, but I have things like in my reserve, like whether usually it's food pictures that I save that I don't post at that time.
I need to start doing that with my exercise.
Yeah, see?
I do it. So I can pretend to Lindsay that I exercised that day.
Well, she's here, so she just so I do a combination. Like, I try and always do like a motivation Monday. So those kind of things I'll pre-plan. I like to have a transformation Tuesday plan, but I'm not that good at them. So I really do like a big combination. Mostly though, when I was trying to plan, I was feeling like I wasn't being organic or genuine. So I really wait for something to come to me. But I do save certain things like recipes or food pics, or sometimes when my kids are being cute, I'll save things like that. But for the most part, if I'm being honest, it's just like fly by the seat of my pants. That's just kind of how it happens for me. I'm trying to think of other things that I pre-plan. If it's pre-planned, it's probably planned like 2 days in advance. Like, it's probably something like, okay, tomorrow I'm actually going to shower and I'm going to do my makeup and my hair. I'm going to take a picture. Like, I did that picture of me like on the couch, like the I'm a coach one. That took me like 3 days to plan out, because I was like, when am I actually going to put makeup on, If I put makeup on like I did today, I've probably taken like 17 pictures of myself today just to have as posts, like change my shirt, but it doesn't mean I already have them planned out, like what I'm going to do with the post. Because I'd say 70% is like fly by the seat of my pants. And then the other 30 is like pre-planned or recycled content from my phone because
this was my little photo shoot today of myself because I had my hair done.
See?
I just keep, and I make sure there's room on the side with my wall so I can write whatever writing that I would need for that particular.
But also, Stephanie, I do, you know what I do use, like if I'm feeling stuck, we have a couple different resources. I know I posted one and there's another one that's floating around, the post ideas. Like, I don't know if you saw that I posted. If not, I'll make sure that I get it to Noelle and that she can post it in your guys' team pages. It's on the Mr. Republic site. I just added it to the Mr. Republic site a couple days ago. But it's 50 post ideas, and there's some really good ones on there. They're not like for coaching necessarily, but they're just like random things. Like, I think one of them is like, share the nickname that your grandma called you when you were growing up. So then you can create a post like, my grandma called me this, what's the weirdest nickname you've ever been called? And it's a good engagement post. Or it's just things like it helps your network get to know you.
And you guys go to Pinterest. So to piggyback off that, go to Pinterest. And like, if you're not a blogger, you might not realize this, but there's so much blogging, like post ideas, like what to write about. You can totally use those for your statuses on Facebook. So just go to Pinterest and look up like blog post ideas, and it gives you like the most nonsensical, whatever, like your grandmother's, nickname or whatever.
I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah,
I did that band one. That band one where it says to like, sorry, Jenny, I delayed, I think, but the one where it's like the color of your underwear plus the last thing you ate. I had like 100 or so comments on that because everybody's was so funny.
Yeah, and there was another one that was going around the other day. I think Allison posted it, and it said, like, your last text message is what your gravestone's going to say, which how perfect is that considering the time of year it is? So people are thinking Halloween, gravestone, and it's funny to look at your phone and be like, oh, my last text message. I think when I looked at mine, it was just like, are you still picking up tortillas? Like, how funny is that to think of, like, on your tombstone is like, you still picking up tortillas? But people love to share about themselves. Another thing I've done for an engagement post is like if you Google like this or that question, and I did it the other day. I did like Italian or Mexican, and that wasn't my idea. I can't come up with that on my own. Like I can't use I cannot be asked to use my brain 100% of the time. Okay, can't even be asked to use like 50% of the time. So Google is my best friend. Pinterest is your best friend. So I Googled this or that questions, and like this list of like 100 came up. And it was like Mexican or Italian. I was like, perfect. Carbs are carbs. So I put that on there. Like I had a lot of engagement on it. A lot of people in a question. And, so those engagement posts, like you don't have to overthink them. Just Google it.
Yeah, I was going to say I boosted my infinity on my like page when I just posted. Do I go as a Disney character or superhero? And I just like, people are like, no, Marvel bought out this. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was going to turn into a fight.
Right? And those kind of things will though too. Like, and they like one of the first examples that we have in our training is like ask like, oh, I'm thinking about getting a new iPhone or a new phone, even if you're not. Who has iPhone? Who has Samsung? Pros and cons. And it's just like,
oh yeah, people go nuts over that. Or ask if you should switch to a Mac. Oh my gosh, people get
so offended.
Yeah.
I caused an argument over that whole same post.
Did you?
Yeah. And I kind of already knew I was sticking with a Samsung, so it was kind of like, okay, stop.
Yeah, I mean, people post things like that just to get like a reaction. And like, they're not getting a new phone. They're sticking with what they have, like it's not. But I did the thing when we were at the retreat. I posted 3 pictures of sunglasses and was like, quick, I'm in the store. I need your help. And like,
I commented.
My sunglasses, the sunglasses were already bought. They were already like, I was already wearing them. And I did this post. And the funny thing was, I was like, quick, I'm in the store now. Help me decide. People were commenting the next day. Yeah. Like people want to give their opinion. They want to be included. And I'm just like, I had actually already commented like 20 comments up and posted a picture of me and the ones I picked. I'm like, I picked these. And like, people are still commenting which ones I should pick. I'm like, they're not looking at the other comments. They're not reading it. They just see like A, B, or C. And they're just like, A, B, like those are the best engagement posts ever.
Yeah.
Anytime you're asking for their advice.
April, how many did I end up with that day when I done that same exact thing? Because I actually asked April for her advice personally, and she was like, post that shit on Facebook now.
Yes.
She was like, which one should I go with? I'm like, go ask your Facebook.
Perfect.
I think I had like over 100 comments or something like that before it was over with.
You
Like,
did. You had a lot. People are crazy though. They just like want you to have whatever they have. Like they don't even want to know why you're trying to decide between the two. They're just like, I have an iPhone, so go buy an iPhone because that's the best phone that's out there.
Yeah, especially, and well, then you get people who are diehard like Apple people. They're just gonna like, they're gonna be like this on their computer. They're waiting for somebody like to like talk about not an Apple, and they're just gonna be like, you're stupid because, you know. And I mean, I can say that because I have my MacBook, I have my Mac laptops, I have my AirBook, I have my iPhone. We're an Apple family, but I wouldn't sit there and do that. But if you're Apple family, they'll be like.
No. See, I like Apple products, but I don't feel like I'm crazy like that.
I'm not crazy like it either, but they are. There are a lot of people that are. They're just like, no.
I'm just chilling.
And the funny thing is, the most vocal people are probably the ones that have never even tried both. They're just like into the one.
Mm-hmm. I'm such a hybrid because I have everything Apple but my phone.
Hey, those Samsungs, man, they look pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
The only thing that I feel like, because I've had both, but I feel like the only thing I like better about Samsung is that they hold a lot more space. I never thought about it before because I wasn't a coach, but then when I became a coach, I'm like, damn, this iPhone, I'm always deleting crap.
That's it. My husband and I've been talking about, and he's just like, you need a 64 gig phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a 16. I'm like working off this 16 like gig, and I'm just like,
that's what I have too.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
Questions? Not about which phone you should buy? Everyone's good?
Got a lot of information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a lot of information.
Can I ask one question?
Oh, yeah.
Jenny, when you are working to help your team go emerald or diamond or things like that, do you do like an push emerald group or a push to diamond group for your?
That's a really good question. Lorelai's my success partner, and we've done push to emerald groups, and we've also done them with like the bigger team. When my girls are working on big goals, I like to do a lot of one-on-one, and then it seems like my girls' goals always kind of have ended up at the same time as the bigger teams. So I'll work with them within a push group, if that makes sense. Lorelai and I have done our own push to emerald groups, but we haven't done our own push to diamond group. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I have two girls who are really pushing for diamond, and I'm trying to work with them on what they should be doing daily. They're not in a push to diamond group. I don't know if that would help them necessarily. They're both very tortoise in the hare, and they're the tortoise, and they're okay with that, you know. And so we're just working on their own pace. So I don't know that a push group would be the best for them anyways, because they're very much like just like laissez-faire, like I know it's gonna happen. It's
leisurely hustling. Perhaps that article would help them.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, they know it's gonna happen, and they know they're doing the right things because one of them's a Ruby coach and one of them is has 7 coaches with 1 emerald. So they're both like, you know, they're like right there, and they're just, you know, maybe the push isn't the best thing for them. Am I opposed to push groups? Absolutely not. Like, I just haven't had the opportunity to run one with my success partner. Like we wouldn't have this many people like you guys have right here.
Mm-hmm. This is 3 teams. I mean, well, like Lindsay and I are on the same team, but yeah, you know, we work with our teams, and then Amber's team. So
yeah. So if I'm being brutally honest, I tend to attract not the same people as me. So they're not really the hustler. They're not, That's not to say negative. Like I said, like my girls that are the tortoise and the hare, they are okay with it. And so I'm okay with it now. Obviously, as I said earlier, I wasn't. But I'm accepting of that. And they're still going places. They're still moving forward in this business.
So you say that you're accepting. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just don't want to forget. So you say that you're accepting
Yes.
of them, like it being different. Because I feel like that's my problem is I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, I really want this. And I'm just like a go-getter. And my team's just like walking and I'm trying to run. How did you just like read personal development that really got to that? Did you really went into God, or?
It wasn't anything specific that I read. It was that I knew that I believe in this business 100%. I believe in the opportunity of this business. And I knew that I was in this business for the long haul. And that if I let those things eat me, I'd be done. And so I can't let those things eat me, and I can't control the behavior of others. All I can do is be there for them every step of the way in the way that they need me. I have in my personally sponsored page, I tell them, I have a video where I ask them, I say, what kind of coach do you want to be? Are you going to be a business builder? Are you going to be a hobby coach? Are you going to be a discount coach? Whatever. Are you going to walk? Are you going to run? Or are you going to sprint? So I can't ask them that question and then them give me an honest answer and then expect them to sprint. So I just had to let it go. And I did. And I guess it was spiritual for me that I use the fact that I do believe that God has a plan for me, which means that he has a plan for my business. So that makes it a lot easier to let it go. But it's hard. And you know, that the place that you're in feeling like, why aren't they hustling? Why aren't they working? It's a very hard place. I still struggle with that. I actually just posted to my girls today. I said, who wants to hop on an impromptu Zoom tomorrow? And normally when I ask things like that, I get a herd of excuses. And I told you guys earlier, I don't work well with excuses. It's you do it or you don't. So I actually said, and this sounds like tough love, this sounds like I'm a B word, but whatever. I said, who wants to hop on a Zoom tomorrow? I said, please refrain from telling me your excuses why you can't come. I only want to know who can make it. Because I don't need comments for people who can't make it. It doesn't mean that I don't care about them and they don't still have access to me. I'm just at the point sometimes where I don't need to hear why they can't make it. Like, I understand your kid has a doctor's appointment. That's fine. I don't need you to comment on it and tell me why you can't make it, because it's just it sounds like an excuse to me. I'd rather you just not show up. And that's me, and that's kind of how I deal with I deal with the fact that things are out of my control. I don't want 10 comments on why people can't make it.
Well, I think that's what gets me frustrated. So then I get mad.
Exactly. So I am not allowing them to do that because I'm the same way. So by telling them, like, obviously I know people, I wrote them today. Can you make it tomorrow? That's not giving them a lot of notice. It's just for the ones that can, that are free, that are available. We're going to hop on a Zoom tomorrow. We're going to chat it out. Like, that's fine. So I said, like, don't burden me. I didn't say burden. That wasn't the words. And now I feel like I'm like totally sound like a freaking B word. But
I know. What the heck?
You guys tell I'm working on my cussing. I'm like, my B word. What the frick? What the French? I'm working on not cussing as much because I have a sailor mouth. So my wording was, does anyone want to hop on a Zoom tomorrow, Friday at noon? And no offense, but I don't need to hear your reasons that you can't. I just want to hear from the people that can. So it's not as B word.
Okay.
So, but that way, because it's the same way, like,
no offense always makes it less of a B word.
Right. So, you know, because I know that when I start seeing them like chime in, like one person says, I can't be there because of this. And someone's like, oh, I can't come because of this. I can't come because of this. And it's like, then I'm just like, you guys don't want this bad enough. But it's not true. Because if your kid has a doctor's appointment, that's a valid reason to not be there. But for me personally, it hurts my feelings. I'm a sensitive little girl, that they aren't going to be there. So I kind of took that power away from them to hurt my feelings, or me thinking that they, you know, I'd rather see the 3 girls that wrote me back and said, like, I can be there. That's fine. The 10 others that can't, that's fine. At least I don't have to see the reasons why.
Okay. That helps a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Just little things. I'm still a B word.
That's that's such a good idea too, because I'm kind of like that as well. I'm like, show up or go home.
Yeah, I even posted about they just released like who's going to be the celebrity workout people for Platinum Edge, and I put it in our we have Mr. Republic, we have I call it our big team page, which is mine and Lorelai's page, and then my personally sponsored in our big team page, Miss Inspiration, and I posted in there. And I was like, look at the celebrity trainers. And I was asking them, I was like, who's going this year? I already know who's going this year, you guys. I just want to get them excited. I said, who's going this year? I said, and if you're not going this year, who's going to make it a point to go next year? Well, all these girls started saying like, oh, I would go this year, but it's my daughter's birthday.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it her birthday?
You are not going to go this year. Why are you saying that? Like, you've never talked about going. Like, no, just say, I'll be there next year. Like, or don't say something at all. So because the one person made the excuse and everybody's like, oh, I have this, or I'm going to be that. So yeah, so then it's just and then instead of an uplifting positive, like, we want you there, I want you guys to be a part of this thread, it became excuse. And like, when I say excuse, you guys, I mean it very lightly. It's your daughter's birthday. That's fine. But then it opens up the floodgates for everybody to think that they can chime in with like why they're not doing things, or even asking something like Super Saturday. This girl's like, is there going to be an online one? Like, no, don't talk about the online one, because you guys should all go to the in-person ones. You're missing out so much if you're not going to the live events. Like, I have such a passion for live events. Like, so when the first person says, is there an online one? Everybody else, I can go to an online one. There's an online one? Who's doing an online one? Where's the link? And it's like, now all of a sudden, the ones who are going to go to a live event are no longer going to a live event. They're just going to sit at home and watch on the computer. So,
and it
I
doesn't
really like that idea. I like that idea. I think that goes along with my new tough love I'm trying out.
How's it going? Good?
She's getting better.
I don't know. How's it going, girls?
I love your tough love.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a little tough love.
It's not that like, I'm just being matter of fact. Like, I know what you're going through. I do it every day. So don't give me excuses.
Yeah, I feel like I've been really good this whole time about ignoring people's excuses. Like, I just never really, like, I don't know. I didn't put a lot of energy in trying to pull people who didn't want to be pulled. I kind of, maybe I'm almost too good at ignoring people on my team who don't do anything, like, maybe I'm not the best coach in the world in that respect, that I don't really do a whole lot of following up with people who have fallen off and completely disengaged. But it keeps my energy focused where, like, on these girls.
Yeah.
Well, that's my question then to you, Noelle, because you say that brings up a good point. So here's my thing. When you sign up a coach who signs up as like, say you're signing up a coach who has never done anything, and they like say that they want to work the business, but then they fall off, you don't check up on them as if they're still a challenger?
No. Which I'm not saying this is the best way to be. I'm not saying like coaches should be this way, but I'm not the best challenger coach either. Okay. I am here for the business. I'm here for my coaches who are working the business. I do care if they're going to have success with their stuff, but I get so many coaches that are like, they text me or they message me every 3 weeks and they're like, oh, as soon as I start this new job, figure this out, take care of this, then I'm coming back. And I'm like, yay, I'm still here exactly in the same place that we were 3 months or 3 weeks ago. And then 3 weeks before that, I'm like, okay, I'm here when you're ready. That's it. Like, that is my exact response. And then they disappear for another 3 weeks. Like, I'm not going to put any energy. I'm not going to say, okay, let's do this, make a call, do this, do this, do this. I'm just like, okay, when you're ready, let me know. And they're like, okay. And then they're gone again. So I don't follow up with those types of people because it's not, I don't know. I feel like that it's not my job. It's not my job to hold your hand and drag you along and make sure that you're still doing the thing. Because I know you're not doing the things. I don't have
April, you have your graduates challenger group,
Mm-hmm.
and you're there
you're present in that group, so that's their accountability. That's the way I look at it. Like, if they don't want to have anything to do with coaching, if they're ready to come back to coaching, they can come to you and say, hey, I'm ready.
Andrea just put up a video, and she said, because she was asking for feedback, where she could improve, what she could do, blah, blah, blah. And somebody had said, actually, I guess a lot of people, she didn't name names or anything, but she's like, I could use more accountability. And she flat out said at the end of her video, this is what you guys said that you want. I'm not going to do it. I have 160 coaches plus, PS coaches. I physically do not have the time, the energy, or the want to check in with each person, make sure that you're doing what you need to do. And that's exactly the way I feel. And maybe I do it on maybe I have less coaches and I probably could be checking in with more people, but I don't because I just don't. I don't know. I focus on the people who want to focus on the business.
And that's what all the top coaches say too. They all say I work with the willing. I don't chase and I work with the willing. I would say that I am a little bit of a chaser, but only because I've also heard where they say sometimes silence is not I've given up, it's I'm lost and I'm in struggle. So every once in a while I will go back and write some people and be like, just so you know, if you need me, I'm here. But for the most part, like on a regular basis, I don't chase. But I will go back and I'll say, like, every once in a while, like if a coach starts liking and commenting on my stuff, because like kind of the first sign that a coach is going away is they stop liking and commenting on your stuff. So if a previous coach or somebody starts liking and commenting on my stuff, I'll write them and I'll say, just so you know, you're always welcome back and, whatever. But for the most part, I also try not to chase.
Well, I think that my problem was when I was only having, when I guess I first started and I was only having 2 or 3 people a month, that I was consistently always talking to them and keeping up with them. And I was converting my challengers into coaches. And now I'm overwhelmed because I have too many people to do that. So then I feel like I'm leaving people out. So I was just curious to see just how other coaches, because we all coach differently.
Did your coach check in with you all the time?
We are being recorded, so I'm not going to say that to you.
I'm just asking, did she check in with you every day and make sure, and you're still here? So that's the way I look at it. My coach did not check in with me. I don't have a relationship with my upline coach, and I'm still here. So I figure the people who want to be here and want to do it, they know where to find the coach. They know where to find the support and the mentorship and the training and the whatever that they need. And
obviously, I'm another example of that, with my coach having left the business, 6 weeks after I started. And it's so funny because I've often thought, screw this getting started right stuff. I'm just going to let them all figure it out on their own. And the ones that come through on the other side are the ones I want.
Well, and I think that that's why I feel
Darwinism at its best.
The need to want to just be there.
Yeah, you should be the coach that you wish you had. But then again, you have to realize that you're trying to set them up for independence too. So if you need to consistently, constantly, every single, day or even every week checking in and making sure they're staying on track, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself for their success, and that's going to really deplete you when they fail, because then you're taking ownership of that too.
That is 100% the way that I coached for my first year in the business.
I just got a question because I just had a light bulb pop off in my head because I'll be doing 2, I call them Starbucks meetings, because I take all my new coaches to Starbucks and have them a cup of coffee and explain the business to them. And do y'all ever ask hey, what works best for you? What do you want me to do? Are you that type of person who gets annoyed at me, texting you every other day, or do you prefer to try to work this on your own? Because I'm going to be honest with them. I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand. I tell them that from the get-go. If you want to do this with me, then me and you'll stay in contact.
I actually have a new coach questionnaire where before I just implemented it though. before our getting started right call, I kind of ask them those questions like, what do you want me to do if I see you falling off? Like, do you want me to message you and be like, hey, or, you know, if you start falling off, is that my cue to like leave you alone? You know, like basically like, what do you do? So that's something that you can do. You can implement that with new coaches, like a questionnaire, like what motivates you, questions like what else is on there? What else is on there? Like, do you prefer?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to fill in the blank. I ask, like, what does success look like for you in the next 90 days or something like that? So you know what their expectations are. And if you need to rein them in a little bit, if they're like, well, I want to be making $1,000 a week in the next 90 days, then that's your cue to, because if they set themselves up for, you know, poor expectations, they're going to be disappointed. So that's a good question.
Okay.
I wrote that down too.
But if you use Acuity scheduling, you can actually, before they make a call with you, set it up so they have to fill out the questionnaire. And then every time and I do the same thing with my coach power calls. If they want to set up, you know, a 20-minute power call, they have to fill out a questionnaire about what the call is going to be about, what resolution they're looking for, stuff like that.
That would save a lot of time.
Well, once you put it in.
Yeah, you have the link to mine, like whatever new coach email I sent you, go search for it and go to that link and just create your own.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to put in the extra time and it seems like your business isn't moving forward because you're building the foundation. But once you have those systems and, you know, in place, it just makes your life so much easier moving forward.
Just like your challenge group that you're doing right now for the Love Dare Challenge Sunday. You're saving all of your scripts and your pictures. So then next month, you're not going to be looking all around when you do it again.
Yeah, I know, but like I do better in person. And so but like if I like emailed it to them or something and say like, look, have these questions ready or print it out and write it down, do something, I could do that.
Why don't you print it out and ask them those questions when you're in front of them?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
There's another light bulb moment.
That's what I would do.
I need to dye my hair back blonde. Dadgummit.
It's okay. We make a good team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, ladies. That was a really awesome call, Jenny. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
We really loved having you.
Thanks for having you guys. It was such a pleasure.
All right, ladies. Thanks for hanging out for, you know, this was a lengthy one, but I think it was full of such good information. We didn't want to let you go. It's our fault. Sorry we kept you hanging on. But, okay, everyone, have a great night. And again, thank you, Jenny.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.